Hi, Miss Kaler. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. Just getting started. The reason why I wanted to become a nurse, when I was in high school, I was a part of a sports medicine class. It was something new that they were doing at my school, and I thought it was really interesting. We got to learn about a whole bunch of different, like concussions, and then like different kinds of breaks and sprains and tearing of ACLs. And I always thought that was really cool. And then at the same time, um, I was actually involved in a lot of sports too. And then I was one of the equipment managers my junior and senior year for the football team. So I was with the football team pretty much every single day. And so I got to see a lot of, sprained ankles, concussions, cuts and scrapes and broken fingers and all that kind of deal. And to help patch them up, we had an athletic trainer at the school who would come in and assess, what needed to be done, and then tape their ankles and all that kind of thing, and then maybe assess whether or not they needed to go to the doctor or to the hospital or something like that. We actually became friends since we were around each other pretty much almost every single day, and she figured out, I was really interested in it, and eventually kind of started showing me how to do, like taping of wrists and cleaning wounds and that kind of deal, and I thought it was really fun. And then eventually she trusted me enough to do that I got to have my own kit with like tape and bandages and all that kind of deal when she wasn't able to come to practice. And also, I always thought that was really cool that I could actually help my friends. And then I got to thinking about whether or not that's what I wanted to do for forever. And I always knew that that's something I liked about it because I always enjoyed sports. And then I kind of thought, well, maybe if I do nursing, I could do some of the similar things and maybe even, do some sports medicine related type stuff. And then maybe 5, 10 years down the road, if I'm not happy doing that anymore, I could switch to another part of nursing and it wouldn't be this huge deal with having to get more education or anything like that. So that's kind of the reason why I leaned more towards nursing. And then, so yeah, now I'm here. As far as a wow moment, that I've had during school, it was actually the beginning of this semester. I had a patient. He was not doing well at all. It was pretty much a known fact that his days were numbered, and his family was present, and we started talking a lot, me and the family, and me and my nurse had worked with them quite a bit with explaining some stuff to them, and it almost got to the point where me and my nurse would be together and they would actually call me to come and help. And I thought, that it was really cool that they wanted my help. And I was really surprised too because I think previous semesters it was, oh, yeah, you're the student, or sure, I guess you can help me. You need to learn. Well, they, I think, saw me more as being able to help them and not just the student. And I thought that was really cool. And it made me feel good that I could like help them and I can explain things to them and help them through some issues that they had with of course their family member being so ill, and kind of boost you up a little bit when you can for sure know that you're telling them answers to questions that maybe not be the greatest answers, well, not the greatest answers, the greatest questions to have to answer, but that you could actually help them and put their mind at ease a little bit. So that was a really neat moment, I thought. Um, as far as past work that I've had, I've only ever had one other job, and that was working at Handel's Ice Cream in Williamsburg. I started there right the very end of high school and ended up working there all right up until I started at RCC, and then I've actually worked there over the summer some too. There, I was the ice cream maker, and my responsibilities were, of course, to have all the ice cream flavors made, which was, I think, at most times it was like in the 30s of how many had to be made. I was also the manager some as well, which was basically opening and closing the store, and then making sure everything was ready for the next day, and then counting the cash register. Um, and then as far as activities and stuff that I've been involved in, I used to be involved in a lot of sports, but of course now with like school, I haven't really been doing that as much. I'm still really involved in my church, and I'm a part of a young adults group that they do a lot of collecting like different things for different groups. We do one thing, just an example. We collect different like cards and like either Christmas cards or birthday cards, just whatever cards anybody has, and we cut the covers off of them, and then we box them up and send them to St. Jude's, and then they actually the children make cards with those. So I thought that's a fun thing that we do. And then we also do this thing called Christmas in August, where we collect a whole bunch of stuff like either school supplies or something along those lines to go to another group somewhere out in the United States. I'm also involved with Vacation Bible School. Me and my sister are actually the 3 and 4 year olds teachers, which is quite interesting at times, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of kids bouncing around all over the place. Um, as far as some of my strengths, I think for the most part I stay pretty calm, and then I don't let a lot of things bother me. As far as, getting stressed out about certain things, like, yeah, I do get stressed out sometimes, but I think I do a pretty good job of staying calm and not letting, like certain, like maybe don't let people get to me. I've never really been like that. I just kind of go with the flow and just don't let a whole lot get to me. And I think that's really helpful at times too, because especially when we were in the emergency department for my, I guess it was clinical 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, there were, of course, some times that were very stressful, and you could tell that some people were getting a little, stressed out about it. But at the same time, I was able to sit back and like calm down, like, okay, like this is happening, needs to be done, and I just think and it works well with like other people too. Maybe if I don't get along with them as well, I can, be calm and go with the flow. As far as some weaknesses, you had actually mentioned the example of sometimes that maybe your face doesn't match like what you're thinking. That is me completely. A lot of times I'll either start thinking about something else, or maybe I'm just thinking about homework or something along those lines, and I might look mad or I might look tired or something, and sometimes people ask me like, hey, you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, I was just thinking about this. But really, I'm not mad. It's just not together. Um, as far as what I want to do after finish up school here, definitely want to do a bachelor's degree, and kind of leaning more towards maybe ODU or maybe VCU, just depends. Um, and then I was thinking maybe haven't really quite, ironed out all the details yet, but once I've kind of gotten my bachelor's and everything done, and then I've kind of gotten some good experience with, some nursing floor experience, and then maybe going back for a master's, but it's still kind of all maybes as far as that goes. Um, and then I haven't really thought about if I want to go and say be like a nurse manager or anything like that. As of right now, I just kind of want to get, working on the floor and then get used to that, and then get to thinking, well, is that something I feel like I can do effectively, and then go from there. Um, as far as doing this whole oral presentation, it's kind of different for me. I'm not really used to being in videos or anything like that, so kind of odd for me. But it was neat to get to see, to think about like all these different things, and I hadn't really thought about some of them, like what are, you know, my weaknesses and strengths, and we kind of touched on that in class the other day. And as far as when we tried to do the interviews, that I thought that was cool too. And then like the wow moments, I thought that was fun to think about as well. And it's good to see, I had it written down, so it's good to see it all written down too, to see what that's like. I think that's everything. Thanks.